Hello, everyone. Welcome again to a session of Insights with Harriet. Another time again to learn, to grow, and as always, with the purpose of this group to change the quality of our lives rooted in God's Word. The other day, I was checking through a group on Facebook, and I saw many people someone asked a question about soul ties. So that led me to this session today. I decided, let me just give a brief summary of what soul ties are and how they affect the quality of our day-to-day lives. So I want to say that soul ties are the deep spiritual connection or link between two people. A soul tie is a deep spiritual connection between two people. Two become one. A soul tie can take place in two ways. A soul tie can be a godly soul tie, which is a divine soul tie, or a demonic soul tie, which is an ungodly soul tie. So a soul tie is something that affects your day-to-day life. This is because it takes place physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And a soul tie cannot be broken. If it's ungodly, it can only be broken through prayers and fasting and, all that deliverance process to break whatever caused it to be ungodly. So we say that soul ties affect the day-to-day functions of our lives, how we run our day-to-day activities. So in this topic, I want to focus on ungodly soul ties. We have godly soul ties and we have ungodly soul ties. So let me say what godly soul ties are before we dwell on ungodly, because that is where my focus was on. Godly soul ties are, soul ties that are done in the that God approves, like a marriage. A marriage is a godly soul tie because you make a covenant in church in front of God, and when two become one, So in a marriage, you form a soul tie, but it is a godly soul tie. Another form of soul tie is, let me say, a mother and a child. A mother gives birth to this child, and they have this strong connection, or the father also have this strong connection with this child. So this child identifies the mother and the father. That is a godly soul tie. A godly soul tie is also maybe through family or through friends, or whatever form of life of relationships that you have, that strengthens you, that encourages you, that brings a strong foundation, that brings mutual respect, something that in your day-to-day does not hinder you from growth. A godly soul tie, the one that is from God, a divine soul tie, is also solution-oriented. A teacher who teaches in school, teaches the children, and the children move on with their lives when there's that good relationship. This child will always remember this teacher. Like, you remember that teacher, whatever they taught me, I have never forgotten. And it's a good thing because it helped them in life. That is a godly soul tie, a divine soul tie that God has, enabled it to happen. Even like destiny helpers, they form godly or divine soul ties because they come into your life, help you for that season God intended them to help you, and they move on with their lives. So they are godly soul ties. On the other hand, we have ungodly soul ties. When there is an ungodly soul tie, you feel trapped. You feel trapped. You feel trapped, but you cannot do anything about it. You see, like these people, relationships that are so toxic, where a man thoroughly beats the wife all the time, or the wife beats the man all the time. But these people just can't live, even if their family have told them, bring all your children, we'll educate them. We'll give you a job, we'll help you get to your, we'll help you run your day-to-day activities. You do not need this other person. But, you can even bring this person to your home and give them the best life. But one day they will still escape and go back to that partner that used to beat them. It's because an ungodly soul tie was formed while at it. So it makes you lose yourself. It makes you feel drained when you're with let me say you're with this friend, and each time you're with this friend, you can't leave this friend, but each time they're in your presence, or each time you talk to them, you just feel drained, or you feel alone, or you drift away, or these relationships of friends or family or whoever, or even a partner that makes you drift away from God, something that even you in your soul, you feel that it's not right, but you feel like you have no control, you have no self-control over it. So that is an ungodly soul tie. An ungodly soul tie of these friendships or relationships that lead to, serious jealousy, rage, anger, can even lead to killing, uh, such things are ungodly soul ties. You feel an ungodly soul tie is even from someone who makes you feel that you're never good enough. They always pick on you. They always speak down on you. They always troll you. You never feel good about yourself around them because they've made you feel that way. So that feeling that they have made you feel is an ungodly soul tie in itself. So that now I'm trying to show you how ungodly soul ties come to be. So another thing is over-reliance on a person. Those who over-rely on people. When you over-rely on someone, you over-rely on your partner, you over-rely on your friends, you over-rely on your parents, that you can't think on your own. Anything you want to do, you have to check by them first. Why do you have to check with them all the time, yet you have your brains? So some of these things, that over-reliance that you cannot function without them, that automatically builds an ungodly soul tie. And you might find even these people treat you so badly, but you will never see it. You will never see it because of how your heart has been conditioned that you cannot do without them. An ungodly soul tie is automatically forged. So now we want to see the different types of an ungodly soul ties, the different kinds of forms of relationships you have with people that can form ungodly soul ties. You can form an ungodly soul tie by your partner, the one you're married to, the one you're dating. And as I said earlier, this person beats you up all the time, but you will just never leave. Not that you'll just never leave because you have sometimes people say, I'm staying for the children, or where even your own family has offered to give you help, but you're not even accepting help because you feel like your life, you cannot do without this, you'll die without this person. Such kinds of things. When you're in a relationship with someone that affects your day-to-day activities, how you think, how you act, like you cannot function without this partner. There are different ways where you can form ungodly soul ties. Through your partner, the person you live with, the person you date, the person you marry. You can also form it through doctors and gynaes and things like those. When you go to seek help to them, how do they treat you? This person looks at you and already lusts on you, and can cause that lust that this person has. You may not even know about it, but on the other side, an ungodly soul tie is formed. So whenever you go to the doctors, guys, whenever you go to the gyna, just whenever you come from it, just tell God to break any ungodly soul tie that was formed. Because sometimes you see where, like, let me say, ladies, you go to a gyna, or even a man goes to a gynecologist, OBGYN, you find yourself an ungodly soul tie can be formed because your nakedness is sin. So when your nakedness is sin, you don't know how this person will perceive you will perceive this person. So always whenever you go to see a doctor on such intimate situations, just say a word, just break any ungodly soul tie that was forged. So I've said you can have an ungodly soul tie in a relationship with the partner you have by them instilling fear. You can have ungodly soul ties with your doctors, your OBGYN, your gynecologist. You can have ungodly soul ties through your bosses, through your colleagues, that oppressive boss that instills so much fear in you. It's like, if it's not me, you cannot survive. If they make it in a way that you're literally serving them. Yes, you're working to earn a living, you have to follow the company policies, but when it's overboard, that you overly fear them or overly work to please them, you kind of idolize your bosses or idolize your colleagues, or your supervisor. An ungodly soul tie is definitely fault, because God, it does not want you to idolize anyone. God does not want you to fear anyone. Remember, fear is a spirit. So an ungodly, because it will affect even how you think, because even if you wanted to do something right, you won't do it out of fear of being reprimanded, or a form of oppression. You can also have an ungodly soul tie with your parents. Have you seen people who are even married, or people who are 40, 50, 30, 40, 50, whatever age, but you cannot function without listening to what your mother says? Of course, we have to listen to our parents. We've been told children obey your parents. But if it's in a way that you're even married, but you still have to run home to hear what your mother has to say about a situation in your home, yet it's your home, like over reliance on your parents. Have you heard children saying that my parents suffocate me, my mom suffocate me, my dad suffocates me? Because they want to control what you eat in your house. They want to control how you relate with your children, how you relate with your partner, the places you go to. They're literally suffocating you. That forms an ungodly soul tie, definitely. Another way an ungodly soul tie is forged is through teachers. When you are young, you'll never forget that teacher who caned you too much, that teacher who chose the rich children over the poor students, and left a very bad mark in you. That teacher who tell you that you'll never make it, that kind of bitterness they left in you left an ungodly soul tie. So an ungodly soul tie can also be forged through teachers. So an ungodly soul tie can also be forged through siblings. When maybe when a parent picks to or chooses to love one child over the others, this grieves the heart of the others, and automatically, unknowingly, an ungodly soul tie is forged with the parents and with this particular child. A child even who is maybe born out of wedlock and is all and other children were born in another marriage. So this child will always feel an outsider, and will always feel maybe the others are given. Are not this person is not being given, this child is not being given better treatment like the others. So automatically, an ungodly soul tie is forged between this child out of wedlock and the other children. And such ways that affect our day-to-day activities is how ungodly soul ties are forged. So I want to talk about now. We say that soul ties, it can be spiritual. So let's talk about how spiritual, how this thing works spiritually. So ungodly soul ties can enter through sex. Yeah, when you have a relation with your partner, or with multiple partners, or with an unclean partner, sex is spiritual. So when you have sex with this partner, if it was an unclean partner, all the demons that this person was carrying will automatically enter into you. And also, apart from that spiritual part of demons entering and stuff, sometimes have you seen the moment a person has sexual or intimate relations with another, automatically this person can't stop thinking of the other person. Like all day long, you're daydreaming about this person, because when you just got intimate like that, a soul tie was forged. Whether it's godly or ungodly, a soul tie was forged. So when it's ungodly, of course, it's when it's from an unclean partner or someone who is not your spouse, or when you sleep with multiple people. So you always find yourself wanting to sleep with people. That is an ungodly soul tie that is causing you to do that all the time. Another way that an ungodly soul tie enters person is emotionally. It enters into vows. You see, if you're dating someone, this was that people say that you never know the implications. Remember Proverbs 18:21, the power of the tongue speaks life or death. So some of the things you say can speak life or speak death, can become into existence. The way people always say, I will never leave you. When you see you love this girl, you don't know whether you'll ever marry this girl or this man, but you always use words like, I will die for you. I will die for you, or I will never leave you, or you are my soulmate. How do you know if someone is your soulmate? These are mistakes we have made. We have made in life that later on, when your spiritual eyes are open, you're like, oh my goodness, what was I even talking about? Someone is not your soulmate till you enter into the holy matrimony. So yes, you're with someone, yes, use the lovey-dovey words and all, but be very careful of the words you say. They can just bind you spiritually. I will die for you. Without you I cannot survive. I'm cursed without you. Such words do not use, even if you want to show someone you love them. So emotionally, that is ungodly soul tie that can enter emotionally. And an ungodly soul tie also can enter through dreams. The dreams you dream, you always see this person in your dream, and this person in your dream is always not doing a good thing. Always oppressing you, always manipulating you in the dream, and even in the waking life, like in the real life now, after the dream, when you wake up, this person never means well for you. Or even if they pretend to mean well for you, you can kind of have a view of what this person thinks of you, and that feeling, and also what that other person has been doing, whether physically or spiritually forms an ungodly soul tie. So an ungodly soul tie also can take place through rituals. These people who go to visit voodoo priests and witches or whatever when they want to tie up someone, whether you want someone's riches, you want to tie up someone satanically, or then this man or this woman you really love and this person is not reciprocating the love. So you know what? You go to that witch doctor to give you a love potion or to give you something to put in their food. Whatever ritual that you do. Some are even blood. You love someone so much, then the two of you make a very silly thing that people say, let's make a blood covenant. You cut yourself, he cuts himself, and you form your blood that we are together. And this is someone you're just dating. People even do this when they're 12, 13 years old. And later on in future, you wonder why you cannot settle in relationships. It's because that blood is baying on you. It's because that blood is speaking. That blood that you and this other person connected together, that to show that you're together, you innocently did it. But you know what? That blood is speaking because a soul tie was forged. You are two people and you became one through that blood. You went to a witch doctor because you love someone else and you want this person to show love back. So you go to the witch doctor to manipulate this person's emotions. So an ungodly soul tie is forged because this person is not acting in their own will. They will love you. They'll do everything for you. Those words people say, they will die for you, do anything. They'll even kill someone for you. But you know what? That is not the real them. It's because they're already manipulated satanically. So an ungodly soul tie is definitely forged there. So it's very important to know this thing. Inherited spirits, spirits of your forefathers, what your forefathers did that caused curses in your lineage. Maybe your people were murderers or, used to oppress people, grabbing their properties. So maybe people spoke like, they are children, their children will never know peace, or you will never know peace. So sometimes you suffer from things you do not know, invisible barriers, but it's that thing that happened even way, way before even your parents were born. Curses affect up to fourth and fifth generation. So an ungodly soul tie was forged even way, way before you were born. So it's very important to know these things. Just be woke. See any situation that would affect your day-to-day life that would lead to an ungodly soul tie. Even a colleague that you keep arguing with, you keep quarreling with over maybe tasks at work, that anger and that bitter and that frustration that is constantly there will definitely form an ungodly soul tie. So be very careful on such things. So this is even a message to parents and to teachers, to bosses, to everybody, to friends. This issue of instilling fear on people, so that they can do what you want. So that, in fact, you manipulate people through fear so that they can, either work for you well or follow your instructions, or you make them idolize you. And when someone else is grieving, knowingly or unknowingly, of why they're grieving or why they're not going ahead, because ungodly soul ties definitely will cause delays in someone's life, will cause that someone, they do not function in their real selves, they do not meet their full potential because they're kind of stuck because of one thing or another, because of anger, because of bitterness, spiritually, emotionally, inherited, whatever form. It affects someone's day-to-day activities, has causing delays and setbacks, and you do not want, on the day of judgment, God will tell you, what did you do to someone? You tied them up, tied up their souls by your selfishness and manipulation. So be very careful how you treat people. Be also very careful, and don't also allow yourself to be manipulated. Also, remember, fear is a spirit. Do not over fear someone. You should only fear God. Fear is a spirit. So you should only fear God. Anything that makes you walk away from the way of God, that the Bible says that, do not take anything that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. Anything that exalts itself in your life becomes an ungodly soul tie. Any extra anger, extra bitterness with someone, extra fear, extra idolizing, all those things forge ungodly soul ties, and those are the things that affect the quality of your life. So guys, we need to talk about how to break these things. As always, if everyone, adult, of course, you've had intimacy with someone, So if you, like ladies or gentlemen, if you're going to get married, or if now you want to start a pure life away from ungodly soul ties, the best thing to do, write, unfortunately, write all the people you have had intimacy with, whether physical intimacy, whether emotional intimacy, even that person you just used to lust and eye on. An ungodly soul tie was forged through that lasting. So mention all the names and break, tell God, I break every ungodly soul tie with this person. Break them, mentioning their names, so that, that covenant, evil covenant that was forged, is broken. Sometimes ladies wonder, or men wonder, why am I not getting married? Sometimes it's not even that someone went and tied you satanically. Sometimes it's just you, because you had multiple partners and there was a lot of unfinished business, spiritual unfinished business. That's why it's hindering you to go from going ahead to the next level. Those who are really struggling with relationships, with marriages, even when you're married, and you just can't seem to connect with your partner. You guys are together, but you seem away. Break those ungodly soul ties. That person you lasted on. You may not have cheated. You may not have had a relationship with that person, but you had that lust. That feeling was there. When you're intimate with your partner and you keep thinking of this other person, that's an ungodly soul tie. So go breaking each and every one of them. And also, definitely, as always, prayer and fasting. Jesus said some of these things can only come out through prayer and fasting. So prayer and fasting is always very, very important. So in upcoming lessons, we'll now start going deeper into the types of ungodly soul ties. Soul ties with your parents, with your teachers, with your pastors, with your friends. We go deeper on how they affect you, how they affect your day-to-day relationships, and how we can break them. Because sometimes the only hindrance between you and your breakthrough, you and your success, you and changing the quality of your life, is through these ungodly soul ties, which sometimes you don't even know that were forged. So in the upcoming videos, in videos to come in future, God willing, we are going to have a good discussion about how to break all these things and the different types of ungodly soul ties, how they affect your lives, and such kinds of things, so that when you're working and when you're doing your day-to-day duties, do it when you're so free, so that if you are struggling in your marriage, when you have dealt with the ungodly soul ties, now even you can face God and ask God, I have done all this. Why am I still feeling empty? Why is there no growth? If you're looking for a partner, you've broken all the ungodly soul ties with the other people you are intimate with. God will not. Now you will be pure in front of the other person. And even, guys, pray even to God that even that partner who you're looking for, even them on their end, let them be breaking the soul ties, because you don't want to go clean, then you get an unclean person. You also want, you want a fresh start in the foundation of God. That teacher that hurt you, that friend that hurt you, even way when you were young, they said something to you. So many people are suffering from inner wounds, from things even a friend, a classmate told them when they were young, and they've grown up believing that they are that bad thing that they were told. An ungodly soul tie was forgotten. Such things are the things now we want to break. So, as I said earlier, in the upcoming videos, those are the things we'll be working on. We'll tackle all that and see how to, how to grow and improve the quality of our lives. As always, until the next time, see you on the next one. God bless.